afternoon, everyone. This is Doug Waddell, and I'm so happy to hear from you and see you again, Assistant Dean over Student Services. And I am here with Frankie Johnson from LSU, the LSU School of Social Work. Hi, Frankie. How are you?
Good. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We're so excited to have this time with you again and do an update.
Yes.
Yes. So we are so excited to have this conversation. So what is going on with the School of Social Work now and all the wonderful things that you're doing? I'm gonna let you take the floor.
All right. Thank you so much, Doug. Hey, everyone. My name is Frankie Johnson. I'm Assistant Director of Student Services in the LSU School of Social Work. I am also an alum of the program. I graduated with my MSW in 2017. So I'm really excited to share with you all our program, what we have to offer, and some other information you might want to know. So first, I'll start with who we are. So LSU is a Research One university. What that means is that we are a leader in research and innovation. We have lots of funding for those things, and particularly in the School of Social Work, our faculty is doing some dynamic work in research right now, and so we would love to have you come and work with our faculty on that. In the School of Social Work, we are accredited by the Council on Social Work Education. That's important for licensure in every state. So many of our students, most of our online population is online, and they are not in Louisiana. Licensure varies by state, but the most important thing that you need when you're looking for an MSW program is accreditation by the Council on Social Work Education, and we have that. So right now we have about 800 MSW, PhD, and BSW students, with the majority of that population being our online MSW student base. And you'll see here, I have some of the pass rates for the LMSW exam, which is that mid-level licensure exam. Most places, most students will take post-MSW. So you'll see we're either right on par or a little bit above the national averages with that. So I'm going to touch on campus for a little while, and I am biased with campus because I was a campus student and I loved my time on campus at LSU. It's a beautiful campus, great instructors. I really enjoyed it. And so with campus, one of the big differences from campuses and online is that students have the opportunity to work closely with their instructors. Our campus classes are a little bit smaller and more intimate. And so with that, you get to build rapport with your class colleagues and your faculty during your time with them in the classroom. One thing that's also really important to note is that students complete their internships concurrently with coursework. So once you start the campus program, you hit the ground running with classes and internship, and I'll explain that in a bit. So you'll be in class 2 days per week if you're a campus student, and then you would be in an internship 2 days per week. So the campus program is a 4-day per week commitment. If you're coming into our program and you are a 60-hour student, meaning you don't have a bachelor's degree in social work, you would be in the classroom on Wednesdays and Thursdays. You would be interning on Mondays and Tuesdays. If you have an advanced standing, if you are advanced standing, that means you have a bachelor's in social work. I had a bachelor's degree in social work as well. You would come to class on Monday and Tuesday, and then you would intern on Wednesday and Thursday. So you would be in the class or in your internship. Typically for class, you would be 8:30 to 3:30, you would be in classes. For the internship, you would be in the agency for the normal business hours of the agency. So like I said, it's a full-time commitment during the week. Full-time students complete in 4 semesters. So you're really in and out. You fly by, it flies by. Your time in the program really goes quickly. But there are part-time options available as well if you want to take your time and complete the program in a slower pace. There are also specialization opportunities available. So you see those on the right-hand side of the screen. There is a specialization in child and youth services, a specialization in gerontology, a specialization in practice in school, so school social work. And then our newest that we're really excited about is a specialization in policy and macro practice. And the students that completed that and graduated this last spring, they did some really exciting things with our Professor Jen Scott. And so that was amazing for them. We also have dual degree opportunities available for campus students. There is a dual degree with the MSW MPH and the MSW JD. So if anyone wanted more information on that, they could just contact us and we could hook them up with that information. And then tuition on campus is about $7,000 per semester. With campus, we only have one start date per year. That is in the fall. So applications are always due if you're advanced standing, meaning you have that bachelor's degree in social work, and I'll get more into that in a bit. That deadline is March 1st of the year you're applying. So if you're applying next year, you want to start fall of 2024, you will complete your application and submit all your documents by March 1st. If you are a 60-hour applicant, you will apply by March 31st. And really, once you're admitted to our program, you begin working right away with our field team to get an internship and then start working toward the fall semester. So it's really exciting, and we love our campus students. We love working with them. And then online. So remember I said most of our student population is our online MSW students, and we love our online students. They're amazing. So one thing to note about online is that it is module based. That means that anything you know about semesters that we talk about with campus, you throw that out the window. All we know is modules with our online program. So we have, the modules are 7 weeks. Each module is 7 weeks long. You get a week break and then you jump right into your next module. The only exception is the summertime, which we're in right now. So our May and July modules are 5.5 weeks long. Those are more intensive, right? So typically students will take one course in those modules, but they are 7 weeks long. Classes in the online program are asynchronous, but not self-paced. So you don't have to be at your computer at 2 o'clock on Tuesday afternoons, but you do have weekly assignments and deadlines. And you even have group projects. Yes, maybe I shouldn't have said that for recruiting, but you do have some group projects. So you do get to interact with your class colleagues and your instructors. Your instructors have office hours and things like that, so you're able to connect. We have 3 different options for programs of study for our online students. Those are fast, standard, and extended tracks, and I'll show you those in a bit. We always tell our online students to prepare to spend about 15 hours per week on coursework. And the reason for that is online is really self-disciplined, right? You have to be self-motivated to get that done. And most of our students complete successfully, but we do tell you that you do have to buckle down and dedicate yourself to your education. Tuition for the online program is $539 per credit hour. There's no difference whether you're in state or out of state. It's $539 per credit hour. It's a 60-hour program if you're not doing advanced standing. So you will be looking at about $33,000 total for the program. Now that doesn't include books and things like that. That is just your tuition. And then there are multiple start dates available. Remember, I said there's only one start date for campus, but for online, we have 6 start dates. And for those exact dates in your year, you can just visit our website. It's socialwork.lsu.edu, and we always have those up to date for you. But you'll see it's a January, March, May, July, August, October, and that's every year. We have 6 start dates available. And advanced standing. So this is for online or campus. If you have a bachelor's degree in social work from an accredited CSWE accredited university within the last 5 years, you have to have graduated within the last 5 years and received all A's and B's in your core social work content, which I have on the screen there, you would be eligible for advanced standing. If you have not received A's or B's in these courses, you could choose to retake them at your undergrad university and then apply for advanced standing, or you could come in as a 60-hour student, but you do have to have A's and B's in all of your core social work content before you come into the program in order to be eligible for advanced standing. So with advanced standing, we take your bachelor's content, and we move that, we wave it into your MSW. So you'll basically come in as a 2nd-year student. Really, you're done with our program in 2 semesters. So it's really great if you are on campus. If you are online, you finish in about 1.5 years. So it's really great. These are the tracks I was explaining earlier, are the programs of study. So when our students start our online program, they'll complete some acceptance documents, and then they get to choose their program of study. That document is super important because it shows you what to register for each module. And also my favorite thing about it is that it gives you your projected graduation date. So there's no guesswork. If I follow this document, I am going to graduate on this date. And that usually doesn't change unless you change something on your program of study. So there are three options for you. There's a fast track, standard track, and it's the extended track. And they really are what they sound like. So the fast track is the quickest way to finish our program online. It takes 2 years or less to complete, typically about 2 years. Students will enroll in 2 courses per module. So there's 2 courses in a 7-week module and a 40-hour per week internship. That's exactly what it sounds like, kind of like a full-time job, right? 40 hours per week. So this is designed for someone who doesn't have a whole lot of outside commitments. Maybe you're not working, you don't have a family to take care of, those kinds of things. The fast track may be something that you could consider. The standard track is really what's the most popular with our online students because most of them are working, they have families, other commitments. And so it takes about 2 to 2.5 years to complete the program in the standard track format. Students will enroll in 1 or 2 courses per module with a 16 to 18 hour per week internship. So that's 2 days per week in an internship. This is designed for a student who works and has other obligations and can't do that 40-hour per week internship. Like I said, this is the most popular with our online students. And then the extended track, we have some people who are really busy outside of school, but they want to pursue that MSW. So it may take 3 to 4 years to complete the program on the extended track. And really, this is variable. All of these are variable. You may start on the standard or extended track, and then something happens and you have more time, and you could switch to the fast track. That's where you would contact your MSW advisor. They would update that program of study for you, and you'll go on your way and continue on towards your MSW degree. But that extended track is really for someone who has a lot of outside commitments. You would definitely take 1 course per module with that 16 to 18 hour per week internship. So those are our 3 tracks. We really have something for everyone. You may have to make some changes in your life to accommodate these things, but it can happen. I worked while I was in the MSW program on campus, and so I know if you're determined to do it, you can complete this program. Here's our curriculum. So you'll see the generalist year. That's what we call the first year of our program, the first 30 hours. And you'll see you're learning your human behavior, diversity and oppression practice. You'll take your first internship during that first year. And your research courses. So it's really that foundation content, building the foundation for what you're going to do in social work practice. So students are not eligible to move on to their second year until all of the generalist content is complete. That includes the internship. So you can't keep or save your internships till the end of the program. You have to complete that generalist year first, including internship. And then the specialized year. So you'll see here that you take about 6 classes and then you have 4 electives. Students in our program get to choose their electives. Now, if you're doing campus and you want to do one of those specializations, you'll pick electives that are geared toward those. So I graduated with our child and family services specialization. So I did child and family 1 and 2 for some of my electives. I did an internship that was in juvenile services. So I really did a lot of that coursework and concentrated study dedicated to child and family services. Now, online, we don't offer any explicit specializations, but you are able to tailor your education by choosing electives that are interesting to you and what you want to do. So some of our most popular electives are animal-assisted therapy, grief and bereavement, crisis intervention, medical social work. We really offer a diverse course offering for everyone. So we have students that complete these. I wish I could go back and do the grief and or the animal-assisted therapy class all the time. I think it would just be so cool to learn. But our students really get a diverse offering of those electives, and in that way can tailor their education. So I mentioned the internship earlier, and this really applies to our online option. there's a 16 to 18 hour per week format versus 40 hours per week. So internships will begin in August or in January for our online students. And that depends upon when you start the program. So the first one is our part-time option, and that's the one that most of our students choose. It is the 16 to 18 hour per week format. It's 2 days per week. It's not 2 hours. You have to get a certain amount of hours in an internship, and so it is 2 days per week. It takes 4 modules to complete that internship. So that's about 28 weeks in one placement. The other option is the 40 hour per week format that takes 2 modules to complete. Obviously, it takes half the time because you're there longer. And so it takes about 14 weeks to complete that internship. And then, like I said, when you begin our program, we'll determine when you're eligible to begin your first internship. So if you were to start our program in January or May, you would likely begin your first internship in August. If you begin January or March. If you began our program in May, July, you would start your May, July, August, you would start your internship in January. So those are it has to, like I said, normal business hours of the agency. Those hours are typically determined by the agency and the supervisor. And then there are work site placements available, or that's a possibility. So if you already work in a social service agency, there are social workers there, there's social work supervisors there, you may be eligible to do your internship at your place of business or your place of work. You have to have been in that agency for at least 6 months prior to your internship starting in order for that to be an option for you. Now, again, these are possibilities and not guarantees. You would work with our field team to determine if that's appropriate. So securing an internship is a team effort between the student and our MSW field education office. So we have a team of field education coordinators who work with our students all throughout the country to place them in internships. Those people are located in Baton Rouge. So they're not coming to your home in Michigan, they're not coming to your home in Alaska, but what they will do is make contact with agencies. So what you as the student would have to do is go into your community and find agencies that are willing to take interns from our department. From there, your field education coordinator will touch base with them and see if it would be an appropriate placement, if you would be able to do an internship there. And if one is made, if an internship is appropriate, a contract will be drawn up between the department, the university, the student, and the agency, and you would begin interning. Once you begin interning, you are assigned a field education or field liaison. That person basically acts as your advisor specifically for field. So if you have issues or concerns with your placement, if you have questions that you're not comfortable asking your internship supervisor, you can consult your field education liaison. So we really do try to provide support even if we're not in your home state. So how do you get into our program? What do you need to get into our program? That's what you want to know, right? So of course you need a bachelor's degree. We welcome students from all different disciplines. We've had students come from film backgrounds, engineering backgrounds, whatever you name it. We've had students come in and do the MSW program. You do have to have at least 12 hours of social and behavioral science and 9 hours in humanities. This is what you might call your prereqs in undergrad. So you likely have these if you graduated within the last 10, 15 years. If you graduated in something that's more niche like film or art, we can take a look at that for you if you're not quite sure if you have those. The only prerequisite to our program is a C or better in an introductory statistics course. So you might think, oh, I'm terrible at math. I don't know if I took a statistics course. We can take a look at your transcript and see if you've taken one. It is a math course. It's not a research-based course. So if you don't have that statistics prerequisite met, we do have an option through LSUS that we can recommend to you to take, and it's online, self-paced. And so we can do that. We can send that to you if you need. Also, you need at least a 3.0 on all undergrad work or in your last 60 hours of your time in undergrad. That's typically your last 2 years when you're a bit more mature, you're in your major, you're excited about it. And so you do need at least a 3.0 on your undergrad work. and at least in the if you took grad work, a 3.0 on that, at least 9 hours to be considered. And then again, meeting minimum requirements does not guarantee admission to our program. It is a competitive program, and we do take a holistic approach to the application review process. So what does that look like? How do you apply? So there's a graduate school application that you would go to. You just go to our grad school website and click apply, and then you would indicate that you want to apply for the MSW program. There is a $50 non-refundable application fee. Next is, once you start that application, you'll see the instructions for the MSW letter of intent. The letter of intent is one of the most important parts of our application. Why? Because a member of our faculty is going to read them. All of our applications go to a member or members of our faculty for review and consideration. That letter of intent is going to ask you questions like why social work, is going to ask you to relate to the social work code of ethics. How do you plan to complete the program? How to gauge your graduate school readiness? We really want to know about you. So take your time with that letter of intent. Even if you're the best writer in the world, have someone proofread it for you, and really pay attention to the instructions when you're doing that. A current resume or vita, this is just like a resume you would submit for a job. So it doesn't have to be anything tailored to education. We just want to know what you've been doing. And then we will need official transcripts from all universities you've attended. So I usually recommend, because campus mail can take a while to come through, that you submit those electronically if possible to gradtranscripts@lsu.edu. And then 3 recommendation forms. So you'll see within the application, there's a box that you'll click, and it says recommendation form for social work and child and family studies. You click that box and input your recommender's information. From there, the system will send your recommenders the form, and then your recommender will submit that on your behalf. So you don't have to do much with that. You just make sure they know it's coming and you input their information. Frequently asked questions. So is the GRE required for admission? We do not require the GRE for our program. If you've taken it, you can upload your scores. However, they will not be taken into any kind of consideration when making our admission decision. Can I apply for the program while I'm taking statistics? You can, but your application will not be considered complete until the statistics prerequisite is met. So until we have a transcript or a certificate that shows that you completed the stats course, we will not consider your application complete. But you could begin working on your letter of intent, uploading your resume, your transcripts, all the other parts of the application. Where are the instructions for the letter of intent? They are in the application. Who would be an appropriate recommender? So I always answer that question by saying who isn't an appropriate recommender. So your mom, brother, cousin, those are inappropriate. Your therapist is inappropriate. Your pastor is inappropriate. Now, if you volunteer at your place of worship, maybe a volunteer coordinator would be appropriate. If you've been out of school for a while and you don't have any academic references, you could do all professional. So your boss, your colleague, we all know that sometimes you get in a job and you've been there and you make friends with the people you work with. If you're asking a colleague to submit a recommendation for you, please encourage them to indicate that you all are colleagues and not friends. So colleagues, supervisors, instructors, especially if you're just graduating from your undergrad, it would be appropriate for you to have at least 2 academic references. If you've been out of school for over 2 years, we don't expect you to have a relationship with your instructors, and so you could submit all professional references. We do not have any grad assistantship opportunities for our MSW students. We have those saved for our PhDs. And our last frequently asked question is, are there scholarship opportunities for online students? We do not have any online scholarships at this time. For our campus students, we do offer scholarships for students going from their first year to their second year. So you've been in the program for a year, or you're an advanced standing student going into your specialized year. In that case, you could apply for scholarships. And then how to reach us. So again, I am Frankie Johnson. I'm Assistant Director of Student Services. You have my email, it's fjohn26@lsu.edu. And then our website is socialwork.lsu.edu. So if you need anything, you can always reach us. And if I can't answer your question, I will route your email to someone who can, or your phone call, but we will take care of you. So thank you so much for today. I so appreciate it. I'm going to turn it over to you, Doug.
Wonderful, wonderful, Frankie. Thank you so much. I just have a couple quick questions for you.
Absolutely.
Um, I always get this question from our students when they're looking for opportunities to go to grad school. One of those things is about job referrals. Do you all do job referrals and employment referrals through your programming and your faculty and staff?
So our faculty, if they've worked with our students closely, they would absolutely, I'm sure, be excited about doing that. What most of our students end up doing is they get great relationship with their internship supervisors who become references for their jobs. And I can speak to that as someone who had that happen for them. My internship supervisors who saw me do the work, the hands-on in the field, and were really excited about it. And they really did advocate for me. So we do try to set our students up for success, whether that's with jobs, job preparation, professional development, or if it's just making sure that they made those relationships in their internships or preparing for licensure. We absolutely do try to do those things for our students.
I love it. Awesome, awesome. You all have a great history of having some wonderful alum all over the country, and it's just a wonderful thing to see what you all are doing. And finally, I get this question all the time: are there any grants or funding for your students to go to professional development conferences or any types of conferences where they can get some opportunities to present or what have you?
Our faculty is really excited about working with our students and supporting them, going to the conferences, research, especially our students who are interested in furthering their education with a PhD, doing that research, beginning it with a thesis in their MSW program. Our faculty have definitely taken students under their wing and brought them along with them to conferences and things like that. Just recently, some of our students went to the National Association of Black Social Work Conference. And so those are things that we are excited about encouraging our students to do. So absolutely.
Wonderful. Absolutely awesome. Well, thank you so much again, Frankie. It's been a long time, and I'm glad we got to come back together to have this conversation. So thank you again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Take care. All right, everyone. Have a great one, and we're so excited for your future and to see you become a part of this wonderful, wonderful college. Take care.